Hey guys, long time no see. I know it's been a while since I posted last time, but I'm back and today I would like to do another unscripted video because I haven't done an unscripted video in a while now. And I've been in the past few months I've been experimenting with the types of videos that I like to make, and after experimenting with different formats, I figured that I would actually prefer to go back to a more natural sense of pacing, a natural way of talking, a more authentic and talking to a friend type of video. It has to be vulnerable in a way. And I think that's the type of videos that I would like to make. With that being said, there's just so much that I could talk about that I feel like I don't even know where to start. So let me just rewind things a little bit more. And especially if you're new to this channel and you're watching it for the first time, my name is Natalie. I am currently in Manila. I have decided to move from the States to Manila. And before coming to Manila, I actually lived in Shanghai for a while because that is where I grew up. That's where my home is. However, I am also a third culture kid, so I actually only lived in Shanghai until I was 12. So when I went from the States to Shanghai, specifically from New York to Shanghai, I was also trying to adjust to the cultural environment. So I do speak Chinese on the native level. However, I would not say that I am fully mainland Chinese due to the fact that I have never gone to school under the Chinese education system. So I would say that's the biggest difference in terms of my upbringing between me and a mainland Chinese person who's born and raised in China. And so I had to adjust to the cultural environment when I moved back to Shanghai. And because I didn't live in Shanghai since I was 12, I also don't have a lot of friends in Shanghai. So I also tried to meet new people, and I guess I didn't really last very long because I already planned to move to the Philippines. So it was this like weird transitional period in Shanghai where I was like, should I invest time into making friends, or should I just not do that and just go about with my plans and my life? And so I struggled quite a bit with the socialization part because I'm like, what should I focus my time onto? And of course, there's also the family aspect to things, and I don't think and I don't want to get too much into my private life, I guess, because I think it's too personal to share on the internet. But I will, of course, just talk about the things that I want to share and I can share with y'all. And I just think that it's such a weird feeling to come back to China because I'm not used to a lot of things in Shanghai. So that was like a whole mental struggle, I guess. If anyone's interested, I can talk more about it, but otherwise, yeah, I think that's it for now. So yeah, that was kind of pain. And then, oh yeah, so why am I in Manila? Well, the short answer for that is my partner is Filipino. That's why I'm here. So you can interpret that however you want, and I won't go into the details of why I made this decision, but it's like a very personal decision for me. So that's it. And as to what I'm doing right now, so for context, I quit my product designer job in New York because I no longer wanted to work a corporate job, to put it simply. So I wanted to focus on my art. I wanted to focus on content creation, creating videos like these. And my first step was to just straight out create my YouTube channel because that was the scariest thing to do, right? As someone who's very introverted growing up, who's very quiet growing up, when I was in elementary school, I guess people will wonder if I'm mute because I wouldn't really be talking to people. And I actually met this childhood friend's mom recently. She was telling me that when I was younger and when I visited her house, she would ask me a question and then I wouldn't reply to her. I would just ignore her. And then after 5 minutes, I would go up to her and answer her question. And so she was like, "You were a very special kid." So I was like, wow, okay, I didn't know I would just ignore people like that when I was young. But I can totally see that happening because that's pretty much who I was when I was younger. I would just not talk to people at all. So with that in mind, isn't it really cool that I have started a YouTube channel, someone like me? Could you imagine a child like that would do something like this 10 years later? Yeah, so, people can change. You never know your potential. You never know what you can actually do. So I felt yeah, I guess my point was that creating my own YouTube channel and posting videos online was a huge challenge for me. And so I wanted to tackle that first things first, which is why I immediately started posting online after I quit my job. However, the thing about posting online is that I'm not really into posting short form content because I don't personally consume a lot of short form content. I never really got into TikTok, and there was a time where I was really into Reels and YouTube Shorts, but even then I wouldn't really be oh, I love watching Instagram Reels, I love watching YouTube Shorts. I'm not that kind of person. So a lot of people, when they knew my plan to become a content creator, they would suggest me to post short form content because they think that's how you grow faster, and I think that's probably very correct, but that's also not what I want to do because I think short form content is a little bit too 浮躁 for me. Let me check how to say that in English. 浮躁is it's when it's a little bit too impatient, too much, impetuous, impatient, restless, superficial, shallow. So yeah, that's how I feel about short form content and creating short form content. And so I stick to long form because that's what I like to consume. That's the type of videos that I like to watch anyways. So I don't really care if the growth is slow. I just want to make sure that I'm building something that's sustainable for me long term. So yeah, why was I talking about this again? I mean, it's whatever. But I think the other thing that I wanted to talk about was that part of the reason why I started a YouTube channel is because I wanted to leverage the power of social media to promote my art in the future when I do want to start marketing my art. Because one of my other dreams is to become an artist, and I would say that becoming an artist actually takes priority over becoming a content creator, because that's what I've wanted to do since I was young. But because of parental pressure and whatnot, I just did not chase that part of me, and so I did not do art for many years. But when I was little, I was very much into art, and I was self-taught since I was very young. And so that's one of the things that when I quit my job, I was like, okay, I'm definitely gonna get back into art and grind on it. But part of the reason why I didn't want to continue with the scripted video format is because I feel like I have invested too much time into making those type of videos to the point that I don't have time for art, or I don't have enough time for art to reach the type of efficiency that I want for my artistic endeavors. So while I think making educational content and doing research and then writing the scripts and then filming a video and then putting a lot of time into editing, I think all of that is great and I do enjoy it. But what's the trade-off for me? Because what am I really trying to prioritize here? Like my art, right? So if I do YouTube as a full-time job, then I wouldn't have enough time for art. So I would prefer to make videos that are less time consuming for me so I can know what to focus on. And that's how I came up with the idea of creating this type of reflection type of videos, and I think I plan to do it weekly. We'll see how it goes, but that's my plan for now. And with these type of weekly reflections, I feel like I'll be able to share my thoughts with you guys and share my life with you guys, but like in a very honest way, because I just think that I'm a person who has so many thoughts in me, but I don't really have a platform to share unless I make that platform for myself. So that's what I'm doing. With regards to art, I think right now I'm just in the phase of focusing on my techniques. So I've been doing a lot of studies. I'm doing oil painting actually. I do not want to do digital art. When I was little, I tried watercolor, I tried Copic markers, I tried color pencils, I tried digital art, and I also tried acrylic painting when I was working. But I think so far oil painting speaks to me the most. So that's the medium that I'm gonna continue to use. And so I'm currently in my phase where I'm just really focused on my art training. So it's almost like I'm in an art program that I have curated for myself, because I don't really want to go to art school. Like I don't want to invest in the money to go to art school, time for applying to art school, like those type of things do not really interest me. I would prefer to just grind on my own, and so many things are available on the internet. So I personally don't see the need for me to go to art school, and I don't necessarily think that going to art school is gonna make you a good artist compared to if you just do art on your own. That's my honest opinion. So that's why I'm not doing that. But that also means that I have to be very disciplined. I have to know what I'm doing. I have to know what I want. And so I'm filming this video right now because I feel like I'm finally getting close to the situation where my life feels more stabilized, because prior to this, as I said earlier, it feels very transitional and chaotic, and it was hard for me to be productive and to get into my focus mode because of many things, many logistical things, many family things, just a lot of things were going on in my life. But I'm ready to move on from that phase and get into a routine and really build a life here and focus on what I want to focus on. Even though like I still have some family things to take care of, I would have to like take some short trips because my family is not in Manila. So that's something that I would have to do, but it's not gonna be as time consuming as before. I also just think that I'm really lucky because my parents are very supportive of my artist dream, because when I was little, they weren't really supportive, but now I think they are seeing that that's what I want to do, and they're willing to support me for it, and things are good. My relationship with my parents are good. So I feel really fortunate and lucky for that, because I know a lot of artists don't have supportive parents until they actually make it, but my parents are supportive of me before I even, make it. So I feel really lucky for that. And I'm also really grateful to just be here in Manila, be in Asia, because I feel like I lived in Europe when I was a teenager, and then I went to the States, and I've always felt like, this sense of like, I don't really belong here. I'm a minority, I'm a female, I'm Asian, I'm Chinese. When I lived in Europe and the States, I feel like I'm I'm heavily aware that I am an Asian girl, if that makes sense. So I'm glad to be in Asia because I don't really have to feel that way anymore. And I just feel very safe here. Yeah, and I love Shanghai, but I wouldn't really want to live there. I feel like my mind is kind of unorganized right now, so this video's probably gonna seem very unorganized, but it'd be like that sometimes. Like just these kind of videos where I'm just yapping, like I've accepted the fact that this is probably how I'm going to be seen when I do these type of videos that are unscripted, where I'm just yapping, and that is totally fine because that's just me. So yeah, I think that's it for this video. Hopefully I'll see you guys next week. Bye.